All right, today we're diving into a company you might not have heard of, but one that's quietly becoming a powerhouse in its region, LifeWater. It's a beverage company in Sabah, Malaysia, and according to a new analyst report, it could be on the brink of a huge growth spurt. So let's break down the strategy behind what they're calling its next leg of growth. First things first, let's get the lay of the land. LifeWater's whole world is pretty much centered here, in Sabah. They've built an absolute fortress, with key facilities dotted across the state. Now, this isn't just about being a local favorite, it's about total market domination on their home turf. And that, as you'll see, is a massive advantage. And this quote right here, it gets straight to the point. What analysts are basically shouting from the rooftops is that LifeWater might be a hidden gem that the broader market is just completely overlooking. So the big question is, what's the secret? What are they seeing that maybe we're not? Well, let's find out. Okay, so their whole growth story really boils down to three key pillars. First, we're going to look at a total game-changing deal they just landed. Then we'll see how they're putting their production capacity on steroids. And finally, we'll unpack their really smart move to sell more than just water. So what's the end game for an investor in all this? It's a little piece of jargon called a valuation re-rating. But don't worry, it's simple. Think of it like this. It's when the rest of the market finally has that aha moment and realizes a company is worth way more than its current price tag. Its value jumps to catch up. And the theory is, LifeWater is right on the verge of that moment. So what's fueling all this optimism? What's got analysts so excited? It comes down to this one pretty incredible number. They're forecasting a 3-year earnings compound annual growth rate of 23.4%. I mean, that is a huge number. It signals a period of really rapid and sustained growth. So how on earth are they going to pull that off? Let's start with the first major catalyst. It all kicks off with one single partnership that has the power to completely reshape their entire business. And here it is. Starting in September 2025, LifeWater's products are going to be on the shelves of the massive mini-market chain 99 Speed Mart. Now, this isn't just about adding another client to the list. No, this is a landmark victory for the company, a real game changer. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, get this. This one deal instantly puts LifeWater's drinks into over 260 new stores all across Sabah. That is a massive, almost overnight expansion of their footprint. Okay, so tons of new stores, but what does that mean for the bottom line? Well, this single partnership is expected to rake in an extra 12 million Malaysian ringgit in revenue every single year. That's a full 7% of their projected sales for 2025. And it instantly makes 99 Speed Mart their single biggest customer. So you're probably wondering, how did a regional player land a whale like this? Well, it wasn't just luck. It came down to two key advantages. First, they just have the raw production muscle. They can guarantee the huge, consistent volumes that a giant like 99 Speed Mart needs. And second, it's all about location, location, location. Their factory is super close to the distribution hub, which is a major logistical win. Now, being able to supply a major new customer like that, that's no accident. It's actually part of a much bigger strategy. And that brings us to the second pillar of their growth, a massive investment in their own infrastructure. And this is where things get really wild. By 2027, LifeWater is planning to more than double its production capacity. They're going from 389 million liters a year to a mind-boggling 804 million. You see, this isn't just about supplying one new contract. This is about building an absolute production powerhouse for the future. So you've got this massive new engine, right? All this new production capacity. What do you do with it? Well, you don't just stay home. They're already looking beyond Sabah, leveraging their huge existing network to push into new markets like Sarawak, Labuan, and even Brunei. Now for the third and final piece of this growth puzzle. And it's a really clever one. It's all about thinking outside the bottle and making sure they're not just a one-trick pony. And this slide says it all. On the left, you've got their bread and butter K2 drinking water. But on the right, sweet, thick sauce. Yeah, you heard me. It represents a huge strategic pivot. By acquiring a sauce and condiment company called Twinine, LifeWater is making a bold leap from the beverage aisle right into the food aisle. So their diversification plan is pretty clear. They're pushing out more flavored drinks, they've made that big move into sauces with Twinine, and they're even sniffing around the premium mineral water market. It's all about creating more ways to win over the consumer. Okay, so we've seen the strategy, a monster new deal, a massive expansion,
and smart product diversification. Now for the final act. Let's talk about what this all looks like in the financial forecasts. And just as important, what could go wrong?
First up, revenue. You can see on the chart they've got a solid history of growth, but check out the forecast. That sharp curve upwards, that's the plan in action. Analysts are projecting they'll blow past 300 million Malaysian ringgit by 2028, and that's a direct result of everything we've just talked about. Of course, sales are one thing, but profit is what really counts. And this chart shows that all that new revenue is expected to translate right to the bottom line. The forecast here shows their net profit climbing up to over 56 million ringgit by 2028. That's the engine really starting to hum. And this brings us right back to the beginning. Despite these super strong projections, the report argues that LifeWater stock is still trading at a discount. In plain English, that means it looks cheap compared to its peers. It suggests the market just hasn't fully woken up to this growth story yet, and that creates a potential opportunity. Now look, no investment story is a sure thing, and it's important to be realistic. The report is very clear about the potential hurdles. The prices of raw materials like plastic and sugar could spike, their huge expansion plans could hit a snag or get delayed, a disruption to the public water supply would be a huge problem, and of course, people's tastes can just change. These are definitely the things to keep an eye on. So that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? LifeWater has laid out this incredible multi-part plan for growth, and they're backing it up with serious investment. The potential is clearly there, you can see it in the numbers. But we all know a great plan is one thing, and execution is everything. The real test is yet to come. Can they actually turn all these ambitious plans into the kind of sustained growth the market is waiting for?